Yeah, the mood's fine. Obviously, there's a little bit of pressure building on us, which probably shouldn't be because it's 2 games in. And if you look at the Charlton game, you know, we as players can't say too much, but I think we've seen videos that obviously it wasn't a goal. We don't want to make excuses, but we dominated for large periods in that game. We couldn't score, and in my personal view, I think we played pretty well, especially with the ball. It's one of the best we passed it for a long while. Obviously, Saturday was a different story. We didn't turn up, as you could say, as an old cliche, but you know, that's not down to effort. That's not down to commitment. That's down to playing against probably one of the top 6, top 7 teams in the league. They were well organised. They combated how we play really well, which not many teams managed to do against us at the Mem. And I think that was why it was more of a disappointment and maybe a bit of a surprise and a shock especially for the fans. They're not used to seeing us go down like that at home. So, you know, maybe it all got taken a bit out of context, but you know what it's like at this place. The pressure's always on. I've seen it all before. The pressure's always on. The expectation levels are high, and so they should be. You know, it's how we like it as players. We've had a lot of that over the past few years, and we've come through shining. So it's what we've got to do again. We've got a new project on Saturday, a completely different game again against Bury. You know, it's something we started working on all week, and we'll go there to obviously try and get our season started, because it hasn't yet.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, it's still way too early to get too concerned, isn't it? But It has been a tough start as well. I mean, looking at it on paper, I mean, they are some of the, as you said, some of the better teams in the division. Yeah,
you look at Charlton. You know, I know their manager Carl Robinson, and when I was speaking to him last season, you know, he told me the type of wages that some of his players are earning, and it's very surprising for this level. But you know, it's a massive club. He used to be in the Premier League, so whether they got 10 men, 11 men, 9 men, 8 men, they're still going to be up there this season. They're still going to be a decent team. So, and obviously Peterborough, we knew about them from last season. I think they've strengthened again in the summer. A few lads that have played in the Premier League. So it is a tough start, you know, and it's not gone well for us. But simple little things. If they go a different way in both games, you know, we'll be sat here with maybe 3 or 4 points. So that's how football goes, and we've got to pick ourselves up. Gaffer's still going to be confident in us. We're still confident as players, so we've got to just start it off on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about, I mean, the manager saying that, you know, frustrations at the start of the season and so on, but one win would put things right, wouldn't it? I mean, it would just ultimately it could be the kick, if you like, the kick up the backside that you guys need to get the season into gear.
Yes, I think the hardest win is the first one always. You know, for most teams, you don't want to get stuck in a little rut where you're struggling to pick up points. So we need to just, you know, try and get that started on Saturday. You know, we'll go there with a game plan, and we'll go there to pick up a point or 3. You know, it's vital to get that first point on the board. You know, we've had a tough start, but things haven't gone our way. We've got to make sure that we turn our fortunes around, and you know, we might get a little bit of luck, hopefully.
Yeah, and Bury, another team that have been splashing the cash, signing lots of players during the summer, haven't they? So what do you expect from them?
Yeah, good going forward. You know, they got Beckford up top, who's scored goals in a higher level. He's a goal scorer. He's proven that at fairly decent levels, and I know Chris Maguire, who's gone there. He's another big money signing from Oxford. You know, I played with him at Sheffield Wednesday. He's technically good. They've got some good players all round. You know, like you say, they have spent a lot of money, and you know, a lot of teams in this league are doing that now, and it's tougher than ever. I think it's twice as good as it was last year. There's 4, 5, 6 more better teams than there were last year, so it's up to us to live up to that expectation and challenge ourselves against these better teams.
Yeah, can it bring the best out of you when you're playing against these experienced players? You mentioned Jermaine Beckford, for example. I mean, can it bring the best out of you when you're playing against players like that?
Yeah, you know, it's not about them, it's about us, and I'm sure they're looking at us thinking the same. You know, we haven't got any big names, but the team ethic we've got is probably in the top 2 or 3 in this league, and we know that, and that's what's got us where we are now. So we need to you know, start showing that on the pitch. We need to dig in and make sure we're not conceding sloppy goals. We're not gifting teams goals, which we did on Saturday. If you give people chances in this league now, they're going to score. People like Beckford, people like Marriott on Saturday, they're going to take the chances.
Yeah, I mean, you must look at the squad here and think, obviously you're much better than what the table suggests this early on.
Yeah, of course, but you can't see it like that. You know, you've got to forget all that. You've got to go out and start winning games. we could play it awful and still win, and people be happy. You know what I mean? I've always said it's regardless how well you play or how nice the football is, you've got to win games, and that's what we've done to get us where we are now. You know, we didn't look too beautiful on the pitch in League Two, but we ended up going up. So we've got to just, you know, it doesn't matter how we play. Let's start digging out results.
Yeah, and you know you're going to have a good following up at Bury as well. So I mean that's good for you guys to know that the supporters are going to be there cheering you on, come what may.
Yeah, they'll always be there. You know, obviously I know it more than most of the boys. I've been here for many seasons now. It's never changed. Win, lose or draw, they'll always be there, and that's what we've built this foundation on. You know, they're turning up more now than ever. I think, you know, because it's entertaining football. We've just got to make sure we're winning these entertaining games, not losing 4-1. You know, a lot of the times at the moment when we've had a 4-1, we've won 4-1. Not many times we've lost like that. So, you know, that's why they're disappointed, and that's why we're disappointed. We've got to make sure we turn it around and make sure we're the ones winning 4-1.
Yeah, I mean, you say you lost 4-1. So did Bury. Can you read anything into that? I mean, it's just two teams, I suppose, that are wounded going in that, and somebody, hopefully Rovers, will come out on top and put a smile back on faces.
I don't think you can read anything into the first 5-10 games. You know, you only got to look at the Premier League. It's crazy results. You know, people are bringing in new players. I doubt there's anyone who's playing the exact same starting 11 they had last season. You know, ours is quite considerably different than it was last year. It takes time to. It's a lot of work on the training ground to put together to work as a team. You know, you have to get to know. You know, the gaffer might not know what his best team is yet, and we as players probably don't either. So it's getting bedded in and getting working together, and a lot of that is on the training ground. You know, we got all the lads that we've signed have fitted in well, so it's been fairly easy to sort of get to know people and get to know what their strengths and weaknesses are. So we've just got to make sure we put that together and get back to that team winning mentality that we've had for the last 3 years.
Yeah, well, good luck with everything, Chris. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Just got from me as
Cool.
well. You guys obviously had a week on the training field after those sort of disappointing first week. Have you been able to put your finger on perhaps what went wrong in those games and look to rectify it this week? Anything in particular?
Yeah, we've also realised that we were up against a good team, and we perhaps took them a little bit for granted. We won 4-1 obviously on Tuesday night against Cambridge, and maybe we got a little bit carried away and thought it was going to be similar to that, but we came up a team that I'd imagine they'd probably worked on how we play all week, you know, and they came at us with a 4-3-3, which is surprising because not many teams have come to the Mem and done that, and they sort of exploited what we weren't necessarily good at when we didn't have the ball. You know, we weren't too bad with the ball. There's a few stray passes, but that's always going to happen. It was when we didn't have the ball, we were open, and that's something we've worked on this week. You know, with stuff without the ball, because it is vital, especially away from home. And even at home, because, you know, some teams might have watched that game and thought they'll do exactly the same against us now, so we need to make sure that no one else does. You know, it's not, like I say, it's not happened a lot over the past 3 years I've been here, someone coming to our place and beating us like that, so we've got to get back to that, getting the Mem as a strong fortress and not letting teams come there and do that to us. And
speaking more generally as well, obviously you've been with the club for a few seasons now. How strong does this group of players compare to the ones you've played with in previous seasons? Despite
the squad's strongest now than it's been, but it needs to be. Like I just said, the league's very strong this year. It's back to some real big teams in there, and people are spending a lot of money. We need a strong squad, and the gaffer's done that. He's brought in good players, and like I say, lads that have fitted in well and lads that will add different bits to our game. So it's massive that we have a strong squad because everyone else has.
You mentioned obviously a lot of the money sloshing around in some of the clubs in the league this year. Do you guys sort of enjoy that perhaps underdog tag as the season goes on? Although you had a great season last year, a lot of people maybe see you as a smaller side.
Yeah, I think, but we've sort of, I mean, teams are worried about coming to play us at home, and last week it was a one-off for me. We don't ever lose like that at home, really. You know, our support shows that we're a big club, but like you say, yeah, we get on with our business quietly. We never make too much noise. We go about things in a manner which teams maybe might take us for granted a little bit, but that's how we've got where we are. You know, teams might have done that in the conference in League Two, and we got promoted both times. So if they want to do that, they can. But they've only got to look at the squad we've got now, and you know the winning record over the past few seasons is obviously massive. So we've got to make sure we keep going that this year. It's going to be the toughest season we've had since I've been back at the club, and we've got to look forward to it because there's some big games to play in.